This is GodisaGeek's E3 podcast, brought to you by Gfinity and their Tournament Builder app on Xbox One. Hello and welcome everybody to the GodisaGeek podcast, brought to you live from Los Angeles. My name is Dan Murphy, and joining me, looking very interested indeed, he seems thrilled to be here, so enamoured with what we're about to discuss, Mr. Mike Stubbsy. Mike, how's it going?
It's going well, although I am sat literally next to you,
Yeah.
so your voice is very loud for that situation.
What, is my podcast voice putting you off?
Yeah.
Like in real life? It is a bit weird, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I love how you don't actually change it at all, just very...
Oh no, this is just my normal voice. Like,
It's more personable, but when you're the host, you've got to like, put on a bit of an act, I'd say. Like,
no.
do you reckon Colin talks like how he talks on podcasts all the time?
Yeah, he like gets a little bit more hyped on podcasts sometimes.
She's got good
But-
showmanship, that's the point.
Yeah, there's...
Speaking of showmanship, that was good.
No, that was...
Fuck off, come on, that was good. You can't give me any credit here at all. We've been to 3 press conferences, Stubbsy.
We have, but I don't know why you like your feet there, because that wasn't a question.
I'm just telling
That
you.
was a statement.
It was fucking telling the people. Yo, man, you're such a... You love the criticism, yeah. I feel like a fucking beaten dog.
Yep.
Keeping me down in my little corner, unable to reach out and sparkle like a little butterfly. Anyway, went to 3 press conferences. First of which was yesterday when we went to see Bethesda and their hangar in the middle of nowhere, which had the occasional firework which shit us all up as we waited in the sun. First thing they revealed in their conference was a new Quake, and it was Quake Champions, futuristic stuff, arena shooter. It looked good, did it not? This kind of relates to you with esports things more than me.
Well, like, they didn't show any gameplay.
They didn't. It
So
was a
that's
CG
kind
trailer.
of... Kind of can't make too many judgments, but I mean, I didn't think they'd do it this year. I thought it'd be next year because Doom's literally just come out,
Mm-hmm.
and they're quite similar games, like similar style. But I mean, fair play to them. Like, they said that they're going to push it as an esport, which never usually goes well. But
120 hertz unlocked frame rate, they said, and it's only PC they've announced, so it seems like they are like concentrating on its roots, I guess, and not making anything else.
only PC is a good thing because like console scrubs don't deserve Quake.
I see. Was it Quake on a console originally? Because I went to a thing recently and it was on one of those shitty old plastic things.
There was Quake on consoles, but I don't know that much about its history. I just know that I used to play Quake 2 on LAN a hell of a lot.
Okay. So you're excited by Quake?
I mean, I kind of soured on it. Like when it was announced, I was really hype.
Why have you soured? What have you read?
Just because like they didn't show gameplay, which is kind of quite concerning. And it's like, they're like trying to wind in mobile elements to make it more of a hero shooter because they've got heroes and they've all got abilities. I'm just like, don't do that. I just want to run around and shoot people.
So was Quake originally like Doom or Halo when you just like a
it was much closer to like you Doom sort of thing. It was really fast paced and the multiplayer was just like the best thing.
Yeah, it seems like they're pushing personalities with the 4 or 5 shooters they showed off. There was the lady with blue hair, the big tank dude, and then your typical warrior.
Oh yeah, I don't remember any of the people that they showed off.
It's not a very good thing then, really, is it? But I thought they revealed it was quite cool with the computer coding type thing, and it just said Quake.
Oh yeah, with like the command line, and then it just went Quake, and then everyone lost their shit. That was a pretty decent way to start.
People lost their shit quite a lot in the middle of that, and one particular lady when Elder Scrolls Legends
I'm
was
fairly
brought up.
sure that they were part of a Elder Scrolls fan site, because I think I saw someone retweet them. So yeah, that explains that.
I don't think we actually want to talk much about the Elder Scrolls Legends. Well, actually, no. She was worrying through Elder Scrolls Online, wasn't she? Actually,
Yeah, Legends will be cool, but like it's a card game.
Okay, is Hearthstone an esport?
Yeah,
And so do you reckon there's any scope for this one to become one?
I'm concerned because they mentioned look. And while Hearthstone has a bit, Hearthstone is slightly RNG based, but the way they were talking, look seems to be a bit of a bigger factor here, which is never good for competitive play. So we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, I remember you said the same about... Was it Gwent you said the same about? Oh,
No, it was Fable Fortunes.
Oh, okay.
I think.
There's so many of these. It seems like every fantasy
Yeah, everyone's got
franchise is
one.
having one. But what can you say? They also then after that new Fallout building stuff, and I think people lost the shit most at this when they said you could build your own vault.
Yeah, okay, I didn't really play Fallout that much.
Like they've shown off the building, it's never that easy. There's always the bit where you can't line up the fucking corner of like your house, and it's just slightly lopsided. So it's going to be amusing to see how they do it with the vaults and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like the people that are still playing Fallout will probably like it, but like, did you play Fallout 4?
Did not complete it. I think I got literally up to the bit where you're told to go to the sea of waste or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I didn't even get that far.
But I never went.
Yeah, I did like 10 hours and then was just like, no, I do not have the time for this.
It's Bethesda game. That's formula. I don't think it really jives with me that much.
Like, I don't like Fallout as a series because I don't want a shooting RPG that's like that. That's like that long because
the shooting's not that.
I don't like the shooting mechanics of it. Whereas the Elder Scrolls, which is a perfect transition, is actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because Big Todd Howard, who looks a lot like Lionel Messi, and I can't get it out of my head, was on the screen and he revealed that they have indeed been working on Skyrim Remaster, and it looks fucking fair play. Obviously, it's not going to meet what it's on a PC with all the mods and whatnot, but it's a pretty significant upgrade.
It's all about them new snow shaders.
I thought the water shaders particularly quite nice, but you're going to be playing that again. See, I feel like now I've played Witcher and I've played a fantasy RPG. Obviously, they're vastly different, but now I feel like I've played a fantasy RPG a lot. I feel like it might deserve another go, but again, it's that Bethesda framework. I wasn't a big fan of Skyrim first time round.
I would play it, I just don't have the time because I've already played it. I've already done like 70. I think my save was 70 to 80 hours, possibly more. And it's like I just don't have the time to put that in to a game that I've kind of already played as much as I want to. So I'll probably end up getting it. I'll probably do like the first 20 hours, but I think I'll probably drop out. But yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I know Nails, who destroyed the podcast the other week, will be excited, but probably won't let himself play it.
Is he on like a reformed list from?
He ruined his life with Skyrim, so
that's pretty dark. I didn't realise it went that deep. This is a bit of an awkward.
It used to be. I think it was in his site bio. He used to say had to sell Skyrim because it interfered with his life too much.
Yeah, Skyrim seems to have an effect on that people. I remember telling you the other day about the kid who I went to school with, who I'd say went to school as a fucking nutter, who went in the same year as me. And when it came out, he didn't come to school for 5 days, and the rumours was he just played it. Yeah. The funny thing was he was like a hard lad who was in the cool crowd, and you wouldn't expect that type of kid.
Yeah, but the Elder Scrolls has like that broad appeal. Like one of my old lecturers at college was like not really that much of a gamer, but he was obviously a PC like computing lecturer. And his thing was every time that a new Elder Scrolls game, like a numbered Elder Scrolls game is launched, is when he builds a new PC.
Fair play.
And then he just plays it.
Then Arcane Studios came out, but they weren't talking about Dishonored 2 just yet. It was it Raphael something? I can't remember.
Raphael Conter something. I copy and pasted his name, so...
He'd left Paris to go to Austin studio, and then there was a weird trailer of a guy, obviously on some sort of time loop, and everything seems like happy-go-lucky, and then his eye gets ever more redder, and then there's some weird psychological shit, and it was revealed to be Prey, and again the people went fucking mad for this one as well. I have little inclination as to what Prey is. I remember I was talking to Adam from RPS about it, and he was explaining it a lot. I didn't really get it, so I take it you know a bit more than me.
Oh no, I know like pretty much nothing about the original Prey. The only thing that I really know about it is the sort of name value that Prey 2 has because of all the... It's kind of like The Last Guardian.
Yeah,
like,
what is the story behind this? It sounds to me
idea.
like Beyond Good and Evil 2 type thing, where they mentioned it and then it fucking died a death.
Oh yeah, they revealed it. I think it was basically The Last Guardian, but like fewer people cared.
Okay.
And then I think it was it announced that they cancelled it, or it became known that it was like cancelled.
Okay.
And then there were rumours that it was restarted development, and then Kotaku reported that Arcane had taken it over.
Yeah,
and then that's what's happened.
Yeah, are you excited for this. It doesn't show. It
I
doesn't
want to
show
see
much
more.
of it.
Like, I'm at the stage now where if you show me a CG trailer, I'm not going to have an opinion on your game unless it's something really, really cool.
It's foolish at this point, isn't it?
Just like until I see actual gameplay, and like even then, it sounds bad, but I've become kind of jaded with like, and being at E3 is like the ultimate place for it, because vertical slices which you play pre-release are often not representative of the final game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially if it's just a CG trailer, then there's not really that much to talk about. I mean, Prey, sure, I'm excited to see what they've actually done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
seems like a cool idea. I think is like the weird cycle. It reminded me a lot of. I can't remember. What's the famous movie where there's a red eye and he like controls things? It's like a
Terminator.
No, it's not Terminator. It's like Simpsons did a parody of it when there's a house that's like a futuristic house and then it kills Homer type thing. I can't remember what it is, but it's like the red eye on the wall. I can never remember. It's like this futuristic thing where you're getting controlled by shit, but who knows? It looked interesting, I thought, from the little things we saw, but who knows? Then they had some DLC, which we'll skip over because it was Doom stuff, DLC maps and whatnot, and
no one cares.
I think a lot of people do care, but we don't at this point. And then Dark Brotherhood DLC for Elder Scrolls Online. I'm surprised they spent so much time on it, but obviously it is making the money after not doing so well on the first week. But who cares? Then Bethesda did announce their VR stuff. Do you care about this bit? Doom VR and Fallout VR.
Yeah, but Doom VR isn't necessarily proper Doom. They worded it as we've got a
Doom experience
available to play.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually play it, so
we couldn't because the queue was fucking massive and Blink-182 were on. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And then they ended the show with a massive, near 20-minute demonstration of Dishonored 2. We had a tour of the new city, which looks rather pretty. A Mediterranean seaside sort of town with blood flies instead of rats, which is quite horrifying. Then we had the synopsis, I guess, of Emily Caldwin, is in charge in Corvo. Her dad's like helping her. Then usurpers munch them all, and then they have to go to this city to get rid of a conspiracy or whatever. And then you get a massive gameplay demonstration of Emily sneaking in to kill this dude, Burns, I think he was called, Overseer Burns. And it showed loads of different powers. I think one was called Shadow Walk, where you crawl like some weird beast. There was Mesmerize, which like hypnotised enemies, and then there was Domino, which connected all enemies. So if you killed one or shocked one, all of them would fall.
See, they made a big deal of that.
That seems very overpowered, and that was one of the problems with the first Dishonored.
I think that is actually going to be so situational, because there's going to be a limit of how many people it can affect.
Yeah, and so people are going to have helmets on that won't.
It was quite fortunate that they were in a room with 3 people to affect, and that they could affect 3 people, and that there was no one else in that room to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole point of Dishonored is basically not to be seen.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is going to be so few situations to actually use that well, that it's the perfect demo situation.
People going mad for it.
In actual reality, when the final game hits, that just won't be doable.
The other power was Far Reach, which she has big arms, which she can fly. No, she can basically do blink, and then she can grab enemies and grab objects to smash into enemies. And I thought also in this demo there was like sandstorms coming in, and she'd use them kind of like Metal Gear-esque, where you'd use the sandstorms to mask your infiltration and stuff. I thought the interaction with, I say it's vertical slice, you can't judge it, and it's the best person at that game doing it. But I thought the interaction with how you use the world to your advantage looked pretty interesting.
I mean, again, I would have I know this isn't probably a popular opinion, but I would have preferred Dishonored 2 to have been like either last year or the year before, and literally been kind of an expansion pack. So back in Dunwell, and doing the same thing just with more missions. Like that's kind of what I want.
It feels like they've gone really to turn on it, don't they? They've added a lot. Like there was also the final bit was a time warped mansion where you was either in the past or the future, but then you used a kind of looking glass or whatever, or a magnifying glass to look into the past or the future and plan attacks from it. It looked cool, and I am pretty excited for this. Like, it made me want to go and play Dishonored 1 like right away, which is pretty good. I'm excited for it, and I'm glad that they get. And I think what I like most about their demo, which a lot of other companies could have learned from, is that their gameplay demos had insightful commentary all over the top instead of playing, talking, playing.
I mean, there's a time and a place for talking over demos. Like when was it the Division that was first shown off with where they had like the AI companion app with the drone thing that never actually made it into the game. Like that, having chat over that suited it because that explained what the game was better than a developer going, "This is our new type of shader."
Yeah.
But like, it worked quite well. I thought it was a bit of a soft end. Like,
everyone thought they'd have an Elder Scrolls tease or something else, but no, there wasn't many. Has there been one big surprise? There's not been one this year, has there? As in, like, end on one more thing of Elder conferences?
Not a proper one more thing. Like Sony, which we'll get to later, kind of went big hitter, and then I think the way they ended it quite smartly, but like they could have ended on a big one.
I think they could have ended it on Resi.
I think we need to wait until we actually get to that.
Yeah, definitely. But that was it for Bethesda. What did what was your highlight, low light, whatever? What did you think of
Blink-182, by far.
Obviously, yeah.
They were the highlight. Like, that's the only reason why I went.
I know this is going to annoy you because I'm bringing it up again, but the fucking lead guitarist of Blink-182 was wearing a fucking wig and shit.
You're literally the only person in the world that cares.
It was fucking infuriating. It's just, I can't escape. I can never escape the torture of knowing.
Because Wigan are a big club.
They're a big club because of a shit fucking song, and it's quite annoying. But
when were you last in the Premier League, and when were Wigan?
They lasted one more year than us, but we were in it for 11 years. And
that's great, but when was you last in the Premier League?
It's a bit irrelevant. And
no, it's
especially not what we're talking about in a minute.
You brought it up, so it's your fault.
Do you have any thoughts on Bethesda as a whole?
Blink-182 was very good.
You've been very helpful in this.
It's pretty much the only reason why I went, to be honest.
Yeah, shall we just move on to Xbox and take it?
We should, but they're not that much more interesting.
The Xbox Slim is real, as everyone knew.
Right, but I'm honest with this. No one's going to buy it.
Well, it is weird because they ended on the mega fucking tank console
that we didn't get to see. We just got told it's coming and it has all the power.
Yeah, and this is $300, which is a good price. It's 40% smaller and has fucking loads of shit that I don't know about.
Yeah, but isn't it $300 and
$350? I thought. I'm confused as to how much it is in England. If it's £250, that's pretty.
I think it's $250, but like that's not the conversion rate.
It's better. They could have easily fucked it though, like they tend to do. I feel like I say, it depends what the price of the actual Xbox now goes to. Because if that goes lower than that, there's not really much point in getting.
Yeah, like if the current Xbox One model is, I imagine it won't still be available to buy new, but like if you can buy an original Xbox One for like £100 less, I fail to see the reason why you'd buy a new one. Like, I get it if you've got like a really small media centre, then like not having the power brick outside,
that's massive. That
not and like being 40% of the original size.
Small, yeah.
So, like that's the only reason why I could see you ever do
2
it.
2 TB as well. I know you can
upgrade it.
Most people don't know how. Yeah, let's be honest.
But like I think. Especially now that people, because the one question that you always get asked as a games journalist is when is the new Xbox or PlayStation coming? Like even 2 weeks after the PS4 launch, it's like, oh, they're working on a new one. And like now,
this isn't. You don't count it as a new one, do you?
No, but I'm talking about the big one as well. Like now that they know that that's coming, then people are just going to go, well, why would I buy one? I'm just going to wait for the better one and do that. Yeah. So I think I think the way they did it at the start, like boom, here's a minute-long trailer that shows everything about it, and then it's like, we have a new controller, let's have a look at it, and then here's the price, bang, right, sorted, on to the next thing. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't spend 10 minutes telling us all the fucking features of it.
Internal power, though, that's kind of... Like, Xbox's fucking, crutch, or not crutch, a bad thing for crutch, whatever. It's always been that they've had to have the big fucking brick. So it's quite cool that they finally managed to get rid of it, I guess.
I mean, I kind of think that the design of the original Xbox One is actually quite... internally is actually quite poor space efficiency. I think...
Around, yeah.
I think they could have upped the price slightly and had a better space management system in there. So it was inevitable, to be honest.
New Gears of War 4. Well, footage, I guess. They also announced this Play Anywhere thing with, if any game has this symbol, they can play it on Xbox or Windows 10, cross-play, easy. Do you want to talk about that type of stuff? Because they said it weird, they phrased it weird at one point, saying if you're playing on the Xbox, then you're on your Go, you can then play it on your Windows PC, but who has... I know you can mean that could count as your laptop.
They're about the Surface.
Okay.
The Surface is a Windows 10 PC.
Okay.
And if you get the stupidly expensive one, then I imagine it would probably run Gears of War at lower settings. They actually said it during the Minecraft bit.
That's right.
And you can run Minecraft on a fucking egg.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's... I kind of like that feature.
It's cool. It's like what PlayStation a lot with all their cosplay stuff, so it makes sense that they make the most of what, they're not going to have a handheld, so make the most of owning the fucking PC market type thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how, because they said Gears, all the co-op modes are available cross-platform play.
New hard and stuff.
Gears was kind of always the franchise that me and some friends would do four-player co-op on.
Mm-hmm.
I had one friend who would always do two-player co-op, but Gears you could get 4 people. And they're still console players, and now I'm kind of more of a PC player, so I might see if I can actually do that and how well it works.
Okay. Surely you'd be better if you could it on high settings, or do you play on a controller when you're playing Gears, or would it be?
I don't know, because I never played Gears on PC, so I'd have to see. But I think what's kind of they said co-op and not multiplayer, so I think multiplayer will be
exclusive.
It'll be Xbox and PC separate. Because there was a bit of a Gears of War competitive scene around it back in the day.
Okay.
And I think
that could come up again.
I think it could.
Everyone loves it.
In fact, no, it fucking is, because Gfinity's got
sponsors.
Gfinity's got an event quite soon. I'm going to Google this.
You do it.
I'll come back to that.
Well, I'll talk about the Gears of 4. That's how I keep thinking.
Gears of 4.
Yeah, it's Gears of War 4, and it was a pretty good demo, I thought. I think the buzzsaw gun, when they were just fucking chopping weird aliens' heads off, were quite amusing. I thought the character banter between them was a bit off-putting, but I should say this is probably not going to be there in the real full game. And it looks very Gearsy, and there's not much else to say about it.
It looks very Gearsy. Gfinity have the Gears Esports European Open Grand Finals on July 10th. And this isn't even a sponsored thing, this is just something that I remembered. Join us for a day of live Gears of War Ultimate Edition, so that's the remaster, action at the Gfinity Arena in studios in London, as we play host to some of Europe's top teams. Popular pro and amateur teams from across Europe will compete for a starting £10,000 prize pool, with a possibility of that increasing to 15,000 if 32 teams participate.
So do you reckon there's a possibility of them moving to this new... It depends on how good the multiplayer is, I suppose.
Oh yeah, no, that happens. It will inevitably happen. Anytime that there is a franchise that has... with the proper esports, as I like to call them, your Dotas, your LoLs, your CSGOs, there aren't sequels for them coming ever, right? Whereas your Call of Duties, your FIFAs, shit like that, there is sequels, and it always happens. The only exception to the rule that I can think of off the top of my head was mostly Halo 2 Anniversary to Halo Was Halo... Oh, I can't remember. No, that did change. But the big one is Smash. Like, Smash Melee is still... I think Wii U's kind of caught up with it, but it's still by far the most popular Smash game. Like, Brawl on the Wii just was not played competitively to the level that Melee is, and like Brawl's dead now and Melee's still really big. But yeah, that just happens.
So, Gears in general, what do you think of the demo? As someone who likes Gears, I've never played them. I thought Big Marcus at the end, he's looking good, the old geezer.
I mean, I feel like I'm not going to like it as much because it's not the original characters.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to do a lot to win me over, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll play it because it's Gears, and Gears is like the best thing Microsoft have apart from Fable. So,
again, there's a lot of like destruction in the world with that, with the big tower thing falling over.
that was scripted.
Like, yeah. Okay. So do you not think there's going to be anything like that in that? Or just going to be shooting aliens to your heart's content?
Just be shooting aliens. They did show slightly destructible cover, but
we'll skip that. Forza Horizon 3. Now, I thought this looked really fucking good. Like, I'm not into races at all, like not in the slightest. But has a game ever really gone to Australia before? Not at least to this extent. I thought the environments looked like you went from beaches to jungles to cities to deserts, both off road, on road. I thought it looked really fucking, and all the co-op stuff where you could play with PC again. I thought it looked really good. Actually, and I've been tempted with other stuff about an Xbox, and this would sweeten the deal as someone who doesn't really like races.
it looked like Motorstorm. That's pretty much all I got to say on it.
Fair enough. There was a September 27 release date on that. They gave a lot of release dates actually. And speaking of, Rico, which was revealed at last year's E3 with the weird robot dog, and is it? I can't remember the Japanese dude who's working on it, who used to work for Capcom. I don't want to get it wrong because
I don't know any Japanese people because
of course. It's the third person shooter where you have a woman, I can't remember her name, and then four or five different robot companions which all do different things. It looks a bit of like a shooter platform type. It reminded me a bit of like they're trying to do the wrong version of Ratchet and Clank or something.
Yeah, that's not a bad comparison actually.
So, and that's a release date of September 13th. So what did you reckon of Rico? I thought it didn't look super like high budget, but looked kind of cute fun.
6.5 out of 10. Good idea, but flawed in execution. Next.
Fucking someone tired and wants to get to bed here. Big day tomorrow.
Someone just only cares about the interesting stuff.
Okay, I see. I'm trying to tease you. We'll fucking skip Final Fantasy. They had a big fucker. It was
right, because that was awful at Microsoft.
Yep.
Although Alex Donaldson made a good point that at Microsoft it was god awful, and that everyone wanted to like shoot the man who was playing it on stage so that it would actually end.
Yeah.
And then they had like a hype trailer at Sony,
and it looked a lot better.
The difference between the two was like, so like if I'd have just seen the hype trailer at Sony, I would have gone, oh, this actually looks alright. Like, it's a Final Fantasy, I'm not going to play it, but it's
tone,
not awful.
I think the tone in that trailer was a lot more just obviously a fucking Afrojack and a weird chicken.
Oh yeah, but like Afrojack, like everything else at the Sony conference was orchestral scored,
yeah,
and then Afrojack just rocks up, and it's like, this is so out of place.
And it's like, it's weird Final Fantasy because like the demo came out, you obviously didn't play it, but it was like a weird, you were a fucking borrower in some child's playpen, and it was fucking well weird. I thought this was like a road trip game, so it's all over the show with this like tone and stuff. So
it's Final Fantasy. There's this whole point.
I don't play it because it's Japanese shit. There was a lot of Xbox One features announced. So there was clubs. Which
no one cares.
I thought you not care about the tournament thing?
No.
You're fucking being brutal today.
Not like that was the biggest waste of time in the world. Clubs, no one is going to fucking use. I can't even remember what the second one was.
Second one was the second one was quite cool actually. Like looking for players to play with on games.
No one will use that. No one with brain or no one over the age of 18 will use that.
Okay.
And tournaments, like there's apps that do that already.
Mm-hmm. There was Minecraft, which went on for far too long for a game.
It didn't.
You taking the piss? You're going to say that was a waste of time, but talking about Minecraft for fucking like 10 minutes. It's been out 7 years.
Minecraft's a big deal, man.
Well, obviously, but they don't need to dedicate that much time to it.
No, I think they did, because the one thing that I didn't agree with is bringing Carmack out for all of 5 seconds to have him have a like
scientist lair.
Was it a Gear VR strapped to his face?
Yeah, that was it.
Just like, that's a waste of comic. But other than that, I mean, I quite enjoyed that bit because I really like Minecraft. I've played way too many hours of it. Look, I kind of want to try it in VR. Like, that's the one thing at the minute that's kind of pulling me towards VR.
Okay.
But it's just not quite enough. And I think if I ever got back to the stage where I actually have some free time to play games that aren't data, then I would go back to Minecraft and play with friends like back in the day.
Okay. There was a build your own control thing that was announced. It's not
US
in
only.
the UK, so it looked cool though, but it doesn't matter.
I bet it also costs a bomb. Like, I haven't
Probably,
looked at pricing, but I bet it's stupidly expensive.
Playdead's new game Inside got the most pointless trailer in the face of the fucking world.
Yeah, but that's a good idea because
you just get the data.
You've got to go. That's one of the games that I'm fairly sure you have to go in knowing nothing.
Yeah.
And if they don't release anything, then everyone will be in that situation.
All we've seen of it was like when it was revealed of a dude walking through a corridor. That was it. They've had a bit of colour on it now. I imagine it's the guy who came on. I can't remember who the fellow was, but he was saying that one of the best games he'd ever played or something. Which obviously spiel. But
oh yeah, that was Idea Xbox Man, wasn't it?
Yes, that was right. Yeah, looking forward to it. June 29th for that, so it's coming soon. Yeah, should be alright. It's a bit annoying. Is it Xbox exclusive, or at least coming to Xbox first?
Yeah, I don't think it's PlayStation. Otherwise, they wouldn't be part of Idea Xbox's.
Well, you say that, but Idea Xbox also then had like a scissor reel of games.
Yeah, but
Hand of Fate 2.
Sizzle reel is different to singling out on stage.
Hand of Fate 2. You happy with that?
We already know about that.
Did we?
Yeah, that's like I did a news story on that about 2 months ago.
Well, guess who's not been paying attention?
Exactly.
Well, I guess the only thing that's kind of new that we knew about though, but confirmed at least Stardew Valley console this year. I'm very happy with that.
I mean, you've got a Mac, you can play it.
It's not on Mac on Steam.
I've literally sent you the link about 10 times.
I know, but I just can't be arsed with that type of shit.
It takes 20 minutes.
Pete, and my Mac runs fuck all. Is it like literally nothing processor?
It would run Stardew Valley.
What's your fucking game you like with the shit name? The long name. The fucking tiger scientist guy.
Oh, Dr. Langeskov, the tiger, and the terribly cursed emerald, a whirlwind heist.
Yeah. I played that, it's half an hour long, and it nearly blew my fucking Mac. So, it doesn't run much.
Yeah, but that's like a fully 3D rendered thing. Stardew Valley's all 2D.
Maybe, we'll have a gander. I'd rather just play it on console anyway. I prefer console. I'm one of them.
I feel like the controls for that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I want to say that there's controller support on PC, but I think I tried it, and like the whole point, or at least for me, the whole point of Stardew Valley was efficiency, and so like I got to the stage where I want to like harvest all my crops by 10 AM in the morning. And you have to do that like manually, and doing it with a controller is so much harder because it's just not as accurate as a mouse.
Okay.
So if you want to go the efficiency route,
I wonder if they'll slow time then.
No, they won't. It will be a direct port. Nothing will change.
Okay, interesting.
Especially if it's coming this year.
Yeah, true. We Happy Few then got a demo, and this is probably the most interesting thing from the presser, I think.
I think it was a bit harsh. Like, they had some good shit.
No, I'm not saying they didn't have good shit, but I think this was my favourite shit of it all. It seems like a society that's all off the fucking head on happy pills, and then you're playing as a dude who's had enough of his happy pills and wants to break out of this fucking sedated state. And there's a weird scene when he goes to smash a pinata and it's a rat and they eat the rat, and it's all very creepy, Bioshock vibes all over the shop. What do you reckon of it? I really like the look of it actually. Thought it was really pretty and cool.
I think this is either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be genuinely good, or it's going to be one of them indie games that gets like so overhyped before it launches that it will be bad, which is why I think I'm going to try and stay away from all content on it.
Seems like something you don't want to be spoiled on.
So I mean, I kind of, despite being Stardew Valley's biggest fan, I think I'm kind of not done with the indie revival, but when I see an indie game like that, like even more with a AAA game like Gears of War, yes, we saw a vertical slice. yes, we might get to play it and it'll be a vertical slice, but I know that Gears of War is going to be fundamentally good.
Yeah.
Like, that is not going to be a bad game.
No.
Indie games, you can't quite have that same assurance.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm even more wary of them vertical slice stuff.
But that feels like that was the intro of the game, or one of the very first segments, because it's like the start of the conflict, isn't it? My worry is how combat heavy is it going to be, and do you have to do stealth modes involved, these fucking masked policemen and stuff? It doesn't look like a game that should be focusing too much on combat, especially like first person shit melee stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually, because it could be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more walking sim-ish.
That's what I think it is. So that's definitely the look of it. It looks very like all, you know, that type of Gone Home and Bioshock with you're not walking. It reminded me a lot of
Bioshock is not a walking simulator.
No, I don't mean that. I mean the bits when you are walking. And
every game has bits where you're walking.
Sure. The Firewatch, it looked a lot like Firewatch to me, art style wise and aesthetically speaking. I tell a lie, because my favourite reveal of the whole thing was, of course, motherfucking Gwent getting a standalone game. You don't care, I care a lot. So since Mike doesn't care, I'm talking directly to the microphone. I've looked at it and it looks like they're getting rid of the Nilfgaard faction, which means that they're probably going to get rid of spies altogether, which is...
Sorry.
Disgraceful. Which you actually had a go at me the other day for having my phone. Come on, when I was doing the podcast.
Well, yeah, but that was like a text message coming.
It actually wasn't. I started watching a video and it had the phone symbol.
Oh well, that's even worse. Like I'm just opening chests and Clash Royale, so.
Oh yeah.
This is
your engagement.
This is important work.
Okay. As I was saying, they're getting rid of the spies, and I'm guessing that's because using the spies in Gwent in actual Witcher is the easiest way to win, hands down. It's the best tactic. You make your deck small as possible, so you have more chance of getting decoys and spies. Make your deck, then get your hand up to like 13, 14 cards, and then you can just smash the enemy easily. So I'm guessing they're making it more balanced and whatnot to actually make it competitive. And they're actually having a story in it, which is very exciting for me since the last Witcher DLC ended and there's not going to be any more. Do you see Gwent taking off as an esport potentially, maybe?
I don't know enough about how it's played to be able to comment on that, because it's not like...
It's very simple.
It's not a Hearthstone clone like all the rest are, is it?
I don't know how Hearthstone's played. Do you want me to
So Hearthstone, you each have... You know the Elder Scrolls Legends thing where if each hero has a certain amount of hit points, and if that hits 0 you lose.
No,
that's basically how it is, but Gwent isn't it?
With that, it's basically kind of top trumps. It's more like an interactive top trumps. It's very simple. That's why it's fun, and like you can get like addicted to it in the game because it's not time consuming. Matches last 5 minutes or whatever, and it's just easy. I wonder if on the actual game if they'll make like limited moves and stuff. But it's stuff. Basically, you have a deck of cards. Each card has a scope, like a combat value, and then some cards have different abilities. So, like some card can bring a card back from the death, back from like the dead. Some cards will wipe out the highest rated card on the enemy team. Then you have weather cards, which like wipe out the value of cards in certain lanes, but on both sides. And it's basically whoever has the highest points win. But like the best strategies are like. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see any hero cards on this, which are invincible cards. So I don't know if they'll be.
That seems a bit.
That's saying it's basically in the game. Gwent is only designed to like be satisfying to you. Like it's always scales up.
Yeah, because you're not against an opponent. Yeah, against an AI.
It's designed to. You might lose odd game and it might be difficult, but it's designed to make you better each time and get all the cards and just have the satisfaction of looking. Oh, I've got Milver, who's a book character, as a card. So the invincible ones are like nothing can happen to them. They don't lose the value. They can't get battered off the board. So I'm interested to see how they're going to change all that in the actual game. So I'm interested in it, even though you're not. I think it's something to keep an eye on. You never know. Tekken 7 was this? This was a reveal, yeah.
I think we already knew it.
We knew about it because I've got to go see it. So I knew. I never clocked.
I think it's been announced.
Okay. It looked. I thought it was Street Fighter, to be honest. I only really realised that Street Fighter was exclusive to PlayStation. Could I tell the difference?
Street Fighter's all 2D, Tekken's slightly 3D.
Yeah. Are you asked?
I kind of need to learn fighting games, but I probably won't learn Tekken.
I'm not a fan of them. Scalebound then got a bit of a demo, and I wasn't very impressed with it, to be honest. It reminded me a lot of like fucking How to Train Your Dragon, like a lot.
it looked like UI wise, at least, it looked really early.
Yeah, I know it struck me as just a Final Fantasy. It looked so Final Fantasy to me. I don't know. I expected something from Platinum to be a bit more dynamic. I guess.
I think it looks very, very generic.
Yeah,
and I think it is still. I don't think we'll see it anytime soon.
It's definitely back in. It's like the latter half of 2017 at this point.
Because it wasn't like it was announced ages
last
ago.
E3, I'm pretty sure. Maybe even the one. No, I think it was last one.
Was it last one or was it Gamescom?
It might have been Gamescom. Yeah, I think it was Gamescom.
It was definitely Gamescom at some point.
Yeah.
I think they announced it too early and then it went quiet. Like,
well,
I'm sure it was the Gamescom before.
Maybe it was,
because they didn't show it at last E3 and everyone was like, "Where the fuck is it?"
Yeah, I think. You're right.
I think they kind of blew their load a little bit early, and I think
they wanted to make ground up because they fucked the last E3 and they had to show loads of shit, and they've had the same problem with Crackdown, which literally got one little half a second snippet on a scissor reel at the end.
I think Crackdown could be in a bit of trouble with the server side destructibility crap, because that, like, technically, even with my very, very limited knowledge of server side computing and sending stuff between that's going to require some serious speeds. Like, I know that if Crackdown 3 requires all destruction computing to be done server side, I probably won't be able to play it because my internet isn't good enough. Yeah. So I think they might be having issues realising, because parts of America are worse than most of England. Like, middle America has no internet, basically. Okay. So I think they could be realising they may have fucked up.
Wonder if they're going to save it for Scorpio and use all the power in that to do it instead.
No, because Scorpio's not till what, 2017?
Holiday. I want to say holidays.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, they could do that actually. That's not a bad shout.
Never know. So yeah, Dragon Scalebound, whatever. It's the type of idea that I liked when it was real, because I like dragons and stuff.
I would be quite interested to see what people who were hyped by the first trailer that actually thought of it, because I wasn't hyped at all, but I thought it looked really rough. I want to see if they're still excited by it.
Fair play. Something I am excited for quite a lot is Sea of Thieves from Rare. Now it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, so it's online and
what was you
I was expecting it. I didn't. My thing is, I didn't think you'd have to have a whole team of people to run a ship, which I don't see that working. Which I think it could if you had a group of friends, and I think it would be very fun. But I don't see, with you playing with strangers online, like, I don't see someone volunteering to be the dickhead under the ship doing fuck all, or being the guy who wants to go and set the sails off and stuff like that.
For me, this either goes one of two ways. It goes the Minecraft way, where you make your own fun and you go in with friends to join worlds and make your own fun that way, or it goes the DayZ route, where it's
strangers and
like where you can interact with strangers, and you do quite often like form bonds and meet people, but at its core, like, you can never quite trust them.
Yeah, with DayZ, you don't really have to do things. You don't have to work as a team. If you don't have to. Yeah, to travel in DayZ, you don't have to have someone pushing a fucking trolley. If you get me. With this, it seems like cooperation is needed to, like, move. Like, this, it's a pirate game. Being on a ship is pretty pivotal. But I'm very excited for it. I thought it looked like the appearances really nice. The water was fucking lush. You know, sad thing to say. The music was brilliant, very emotive for pirate stuff. I'm a big fan of pirate stuff. And I just really like it. I really like mermaids and shit and sharks and everything. It looks like a deep world, and I hope it has legs in it, and I hope it will be fun. Like, as you know, people make it fun, because it did. Like, I think people have slagged off the way they demonstrated it, but I don't know how you demonstrate it in another way, to be honest with you. And I thought it was alright demo, to be honest with you. Really, what do you reckon of how they did it? At least it was like natural people talking, I guess, and it wasn't fucking what Ubisoft do with the fucking bullshit cheesy chat.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it worked, but I also feel like they probably, I mean, like EA kind of did it with Battlefield, where they had like what a 64-player game after their conference. I feel like I would have liked to have seen sort of, even if it was post-conference, just have like 16 players split into 3 groups, just go onto a map and go, right, 10 minutes to prepare, 10 minutes to prepare, then go fight. Do like a 30-minute gameplay demo. Obviously not during the conference, but
they might do it at some point during the week, and we get a lot more info on it.
Yeah, Microsoft are doing their whole thing, and they've got like, I think Julia's doing something for them maybe. And Matt Cuttle, is it?
Wouldn't know. But I'm certainly excited for it, and it's nice to see. It's just nice to see Rare out of the fucking holding pen in it.
Yeah, I still wanted them to do Viva Pinata.
Don't we all? Yeah, another prediction of yours that ain't coming. Alas, one day.
Yep, along with Sony announcing 2 Vita exclusive games. Halo being teased but not shown.
The Legends game on the stage.
Oh yeah, the cringeworthy Legends game, and I can't remember my other one.
Neither can I. State of Decay 2 got, again, don't say it.
Which you thought was Sunset
no, right,
Overdrive.
at first, because it was like, you couldn't really see the zombies in the road, it looked like monsters, and it looked, obviously they don't drive in Sunset Overdrive, but it just looked like that Sunkiss type thing, and I don't know.
Right, Sunset Overdrive was way more colourful. Sunset Overdrive was set in a city. Sunset Overdrive didn't have cars. Sunset Overdrive,
that's why it could have been a sequel.
Sunset Overdrive had a different art style. Sunset Overdrive had the stupid rails that you could grind on.
Listen, right.
And this was literally a car coming down a road with a door opening and hitting a zombie.
Listen, right.
All
I should have
realised that Sunset Overdrive didn't have.
I should have realised that the zombie thing of getting hit, but because he just looked banterous.
He looked banterous.
Yes. I thought it was like, and that's their wanky banterous game.
Right, I'm going to make a game, and I'm going to have a wanky banterous protagonist, and then I'm going to call it Sunset Overdrive 2, because you said that if it has a bantery protagonist, then it has to be Sunset Overdrive.
You told me the protagonist in Sunset Overdrive wasn't a banterous dickhead.
I only played it for about 20 minutes.
That was more than enough. I only saw the demo. But it's State of Decay 2, eventually.
I didn't even play the first one, so I know
it's
very
good.
little.
I actually did. I couldn't. I ended up not being able to play it because I had like chronic fears of losing people. And like, it's really good actually. It's probably the most realistic inverted commas zombie game out there, because it's literally you go to, did you say you never played it?
Never played it.
Basically you're at a campsite and you're suddenly getting munched, and then you escape this campsite to the nearby town, and you go into a church which has been made as your camp, which is a pretty natural place to make a camp, I'd say. And then you have to just get your weapon. Well, I don't even think you might get a weapon at the start, but it's not very good. Then you literally just go out into this town, loads of different houses and stuff, and just raid it for food, drink, medicine, weapons. It's really good. Like the moment you find a gun shop and have a gun with a suppressor, it's like a genuinely great moment, because then you actually have some stopping power. There's like some nice little stories, like proper like kind of Walking Dead trivial shite stories type thing, which is alright and that type of thing. It's not going to win any awards, but it's pleasant enough. The combat with the car is like is that you do that in Sunset Over, not Sunset Over. You do that in State of Decay when you literally just drive past and smack them with the door. So I should have realised. And it's the only problem was it was like a great idea, but it was marred quite badly by bugs and clipping and popping and pretty much every bad thing you can expect.
Yeah, I remember hearing that about it. But like, it kind of just looked like generic survival zombie game to me.
It
when
does,
it
but
first
it does. It has a lot more to it, and it has like, let's say if you die, your character can die, you lose like shit, and then you just have to go and start with a character that's at your camp, and so you can play as anyone. And then at some point you can go to your mate's dead body and get his backpack full of stuff, but there's a risk because the zombies around eating his fucking body and stuff. And it's also really cool. My only issue with it really is that they couldn't just have a hot zombies. They had to have spitting zombies, screaming zombies, fat fuck zombies. They couldn't just have. They had to have, like the toy range, which always annoys me. I prefer it if it was just because if you want the most realistic idea of what a zombie apocalypse would be, if it was just loads of rambling twats. So when they had like runners and all this different type of stuff, it made. I guess it's alright for game variation.
If you want to talk realistic, if me and you got turned into zombies right now, we'd be very different zombies.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have... One of us wouldn't have fucking superpowers.
You never know.
We're speaking in very zombie hypotheticals here, so... Because it's time to move on. But I'm excited for that. I don't think they had a showed a release date. But hopefully they just fucking nail it. I think I'm right saying that they did co-op when they released it on Xbox One. So that might end up being like something like DayZ, potentially, in that sort of realm. Who knows, I'm very excited. And then finally, they ended on... Well, didn't end on, but the last game they showed was Halo Wars 2. It's coming February 21st next year. Beta's now.
Is it not February 14th?
No, February 14th was For Honor.
Oh,
Microsoft. Yeah. I've never played Halo Wars. Have you?
Oh, it's fucking good. Well, it wasn't. It was actually
I've heard very mixed things on it.
It was fundamentally, in the terms of a strategy game, it was quite bad. But it was on console, and they got the controls to be alright, which is quite a big achievement. And Creative Assembly are involved now, so...
Who, I heard the name, but fill in me and any listener who...
Really?
Just tell me.
If there isn't a listener out there that, like...
I'm tired. And
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's me.
Creative Assembly are the people who make the Total War games, and they did Alien Isolation.
That's right.
They're like one of the biggest developers in the UK.
And so do you think that's going to help along the way of...
Oh yeah, because they're like the best strategy people out there, probably only challenged by Firaxis with XCOM.
They didn't make much of a big deal about it if there's such a big thing, did they? They just showed the name at the end. I thought they might have said a bit more about how they would...
That's because I think it was already known that was happening.
Oh, was it?
And it's also a Sega studio, so that's that.
Okay. But are you excited? As I said, I've never played Halo.
I'll play it.
Strategy games, so...
I'll play it, but I can't say I'm overly excited about it.
I thought the trailer was pretty cool. Like, again, it was just a CGI thing to set the scene, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, they ended on the reveal of Project Scorpio, and it's basically just a mega fucking Xbox. Can you tell me what a teraflop is? Because I have no idea in the slightest.
A teraflop is a unit of computational power.
The six of them, apparently.
Yeah, so I don't know the specifics of it, but I remember when I was in college a few years ago, like, I'm trying to get the right. A teraflop was... One teraflop was quite substantial a few years ago.
Okay.
So now 6, like, with... I can't remember what
there was a lot of language I did not understand, so I was kind of hoping you'd like fucking remember this type of stuff.
But there's there's teraflops, and then there's petaflops, I think.
I don't remember hearing that much.
No, because they're like the best supercomputers in the world run like 1 or 2 petaflops, I think. So, like, yeah, it's not a small amount of computational power.
Is a petaflop like a million teraflops?
I think so. But, like, a graphics card these days and, like, a computer setup that would run that these days would be not cheap.
So it's basically a PC and an Xbox now with this?
Well, that's what the Xbox was anyway. Like, the Xbox and PS4 are basically PCs.
Do you think... there was a lot of... speculation on the old Slack chat after this came out. Do you reckon this will be the last console that they do?
No.
I agree.
That would be ridiculous. Like, even one of our fucking Uber drivers said it, that, like, there's been rumours that, like, there won't be any more consoles. Just like, no, there will.
They did, didn't they? That's interesting.
Just like, there will, because Sony and Microsoft quite like money.
I know, there's 40 million PS4s and, well, maybe 20 million Xboxes at this point.
And, like, if this new, like, fancy Xbox takes off and...
it's going to be dear though, isn't it? It's going to be 600. It's got to be...
I don't think it'll be 600.
Because they did shoot themselves in the foot and no one would get it. Cause
I think...
Because the regular Joe on the street doesn't give a shit how powerful it is.
What we've got to bear in mind is that, yes, we're looking at the specs, but it's not coming out for another year and a half.
Yeah, and they literally said that they're announcing it for people to build on.
Graphics card prices in a year and a half drop like a fuck ton.
Okay.
And so...
Do you think it could be out of date already by the time it comes out?
No, because consoles don't work like that.
Right.
But, like, if people are throwing around the 600 figure now, I wouldn't be surprised if it launches at the same price the Xbox One originally launched at. Whatever that was that 400? That was just over 400, I think.
Maybe.
I think I paid 400 and got a good deal.
So yeah, do you think it was a winner or two? Like, everyone loved it, but I think
it's the only. Like, if they had done it at any other point, then anything else would have been seen as anticlimactic.
I suppose, but
they were in a lose-lose situation unless
yeah.
they came out on stage and went, "We're doing this, and it's out next week, and everybody in the audience gets 7 for free."
If only. Yeah, I guess it's just good, isn't it? Powerful's thing. Well, there's not much else to say, really, is there?
We know nothing about it, so
yeah, they just gave very much broad strokes to get people excited, didn't they? They've not really given us the hard guts of it and all that type of stuff. But anyway, should we get on to the big one?
You say the big one, like, it's not that. Like, come on, that's harsh.
It was the winner by a fair distance, I'd say. Like, I enjoyed Bethesda and Microsoft, both fairly good. Them two were comfortable with like a joint second out of the other ones, because
the other ones didn't work.
EA was very EA was briefly like not very good, and then Microsoft. The games they showed were good. I'm excited for a lot of them, but they need to fucking cut their shows down by about an hour and a half.
I think you mean Ubisoft.
Who did I actually say?
Microsoft.
I meant Ubisoft. My apologies. But anyway, Sony went to some big ass theatre and they had a whole orchestra, as you mentioned, which was actually conducted by Ben McCready, who is the composer for The Walking Dead and a show that I'm very much like, Black Sails. So this guy's legit, and he's also doing the orchestral score for the first game that was revealed, which was God of War 4, which had a very good reveal, and everyone went fucking mad straight out of the gate, didn't they? Like, it starts with a lad messing about with his action figures, and it looked a lot like Horizon at the beginning. I was like, oh, fair enough, solid start. Then he goes in to the lad shouting boy, and it's revealed to be Kratos with a big fucking hipster beard now.
Yeah, I think the way they did it was quite good.
Yeah. It's obviously a vertical slice, but it looked fucking really good.
Yeah, I don't think it can possibly look that good when it actually launches.
God of War, the remaster, was very, very nice looking as
well.
Yeah,
like God of War is always going to be a visually stunning game,
mm-hmm.
but if that slice that we saw today is in the final game, I feel like the environments and vistas are too big to allow it to run at that visual fidelity.
Yeah, it almost looked like they were doing it kind of, not open world, but like I said, just big areas and stuff. It just looked very cool. I think it's going to be Norse gods this time instead of the Greek gods, so I guess I didn't get to the end of God of War 3, but I take it Kratos has just gone off on one with his bird and lived a life away from the madness of Athens and whatnot, and he's in Scandinavia in the snow, and then Thor, Loki and all the fellas are going to come out and get him, and that's cool because I kind of like all the Norse mythology and stuff. I'm quite excited for it. I thought the battle with the troll was kick-ass, and then the relationship with the son was, I don't know why he's an American accent, the kid.
Not a fan of like that. It's like the whole point of God of War was them kick-ass chain hook things. Like, that was the best part of it. So they better be back.
I don't know. They're going to do it in a way that it's basically a chain, but you can't see the chain because it'll just float in his hand.
Yeah, I suppose. I think it's interesting they're just calling it God of War.
Yeah, I thought that. You'd thought they'd at least given it a colon. No.
Yeah, because they did that with all the shit at the start. They
Yeah.
had Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
There was another one as well that I can't remember.
Kind of doing it at Gran Turismo. No, I know it's not. They're going to do 7 eventually, but
I think it's like they didn't even really need to reboot the series. They just needed.
No, it didn't need a reboot at all.
They could have just called it God of War 4.
They could have called it God of War 4. He's like, God of War 4, like Uncharted. How Uncharted did a Thief's End, you could have gone fucking a God's End, obviously. Something along those lines.
I think if they did that, the Sony marketing department would have been fired.
They're obviously not going to do it, but I'm saying along those lines. But it looks really good. There's a good way to start on the fucking barrage of games they were giving us. Next up, we had the reveal of Sony Ben's new game, and it's called Days Gone. It's a post-apocalyptic biker, a bounty hunter type guy. At first, it doesn't seem like it's going to be zombies, but later on, we get to know that it is. And what did you think of it just from the trailer? I thought it was going good, and then they had the "I still think of you" lines and stuff. I was like, a bit cringy, but hey ho, what do you reckon of it?
I mean, you've got to have some emotional investment somewhere, so that
Definitely.
was trying to add that. I think, like I think they played it quite well, because clearly that was what they wanted to end the conference on, because they did the gameplay at the very, very end.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they would have been laughed out of the building if they had gone, here's Hideo Kojima, here's Spider-Man, and then we're ending on, and then like a Sony Bend logo pops up. Because like, you realise what the time is at these things. You realise that once Kojima's there, once Spider-Man's there, you realise they're only going to do one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
If like Sony Bend had popped up, like, they probably would have been laughed out of the room, because, I mean, no offence to
Well,
Sony
they know
Bend,
because-
they're a very good studio.
Well, the demo was
But-
very impressive from a
Yeah.
technical standpoint. If not
But like,
from
it's just that reveal of what the fuck they're ending on Sony Bend.
I guess.
But to reveal that it was Bend and reveal the basic premise, like, what was it, like second, third,
second.
and then come back to it at the end, like, this is what we're putting all our eggs into for this year. But we knew that you wouldn't take us seriously, but now you probably will.
It was clever. Like saying you picked up on it, so it's obviously you know what I mean. It was. I like the premise. I think biker stuff isn't really something that gets explored a lot in games. We had the GTA Fat Tony, not Fat Tony. What's it called?
The Ballad of Gay Tony.
No, the biker stuff.
The Lost and the Damned.
That's it, and he gets munched at the start of GTA Further. So we don't get much biker thing in gaming, I don't think. So it's a cool subculture, whatever, to go into. And how I liked a lot of. Obviously, it's very Last of Us looking, but I like the look of the world from what they showed. Obviously, it's only vertical slices and whatnot, but it's interesting, and we'll talk about it later. Last Guardian got a brief trailer.
Still don't really know what it is. Like,
I guess it's going to be puzzles.
It's like a puzzle platformer, I think.
And he's not the only big hyena bird thing either. So
I think the whole point is that he's like an injured one that can't fly and is a bit shit.
And he's good, because everyone seemed like they were evil.
But yeah, like, we're playing that during the week, so we'll speak about that at length
And it's
know what it is.
coming out October 25th this year. They can't not get out then, can they? Even
That
if
wasn't a
shit.
sentence.
I know. They can't not release it now. Now they've released it. They've announced the release date. Like, that'd be a travesty if they now delayed it again, wouldn't it?
That would be very funny.
It would be funny, but also it'd be the final nail in the coffin, I'd imagine.
I might just delay it for them.
I'm intrigued to see what it is. Next up, Horizon got a lengthy demo, and that looks. Actually, I'm playing that at some point this week, Wednesday, I believe. So there'll be more in it then. I imagine I'll be playing what we saw, and I'll be significantly worse at it. But as you won't be playing it, what did you reckon from the demo? I thought it looked, again, pretty cool. It seems like every Sony game is now third-person, post-apocalyptic of some kind shooter, but different enough, I suppose.
I feel like Horizon's an interesting one, because as much as people wanted Guerrilla to do something totally different, I would have liked to have seen them stuck in the sort of proper third-person shooter realm.
Okay.
But I think the fact that it's futuristic dinosaurs that are made of metal or whatever, I kind of think that puts me off slightly. I would have preferred
Just
it if
dinosaurs.
it was proper dinosaurs, because it adds an extra level of complexity that it doesn't need. But as a game, like, the gameplay looks solid. It'll probably be solid. It'll launch to 8. Called it.
I think it looked quite fun. I think that is the thing. It's like no fucker is just doing a dinosaur game that we want, like Far Cry did in the past, but it was mammoths and shit. And now these guys are doing practically dinosaurs, but robot dinosaurs. But they do look. I suppose it gives them more scope for making cool shit.
You don't know, it might be like EA and the Porsche license. Someone might own the license to dinosaurs, so that they have to, like, think of creative ways to get around it.
And it's certainly creative. I like the idea of how humanity's ended and we've come around to being cavemen again, but with, I guess, iron and post-technology men or something. It looks. I enjoyed the look of it. Next we had Detroit, Becoming Human, which is David Cage and Quantic Dreams game.
Is it what's it? Is it just Detroit Becoming Human? Is that the name?
Detroit : Becoming Human. Right. Yeah, it looks very David Cage with its heavy themes, not delicately done, but well-meaning. And it looks a lot. This demo didn't show the girl who we've seen on other previous stuff. It was a dude called Connor.
See, I didn't even know this was announced.
Yeah.
Before.
I'm pretty sure it's Gamescom last year. Talking to a dickhead called Daniel. So Daniels are always dickheads and everything.
Can confirm.
And it looked, like I said, I think we both thought it looked like a LA Noire in the bit when you're the detective. I thought at first it looked like just a fucking detective from Heavy Rain, didn't it? But obviously this guy's a cyborg.
I'm quite looking forward to this actually because I really quite like David Cage games. As much as they do have their flaws.
Did you like the last one?
Beyond Two Souls?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I think I'm obviously going to play this because I do quite like his shit. I think this has the potential to be the most gamey. Like, when I say David Cage games, I'm talking Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Like before that was bollocks. I think this has the potential to be the most gamey because Heavy Rain was just 10 hours of QTEs.
Yeah.
Beyond was a decent story. It was told poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And
haven't they unlocked it in the remaster where you can just play it in a single file?
And then I think like there were some sections that it was genuinely quite fun to play, but it got very samey in many areas. I think this actually has the most mechanics to it. Like it does look like you're going to be exploring areas. It looks like a glorified point and click game.
It seemed like you can. So the basis of the trailer was there's a hostage situation where a machine, a droid.
I mean, you could just say pause the podcast, go watch it, and then.
I suppose, but that's boring. He's gone rogue and he's holding a little girl. It seems like you can either just go straight to the guy and talk to him and try and do whatever,
or
you can
find the background information that can possibly give you more dialogue options that could help you out in the future.
And it seems like there was a fucking load of different ways this could have gone. And I guess since they showed nearly every single one, that there's going to be a lot more to this. So it seems quite interesting.
Yeah, I think this is. I want to see how much content there actually is because old matey dies in quite a lot of the situations.
Mm-hmm, he does, yeah.
So how is that going to work narratively? Are you just going to play as a different android every time, or
that could be a point of
maybe
Connor is, but saying that, like I said, you can't die because he's not alive, so maybe he just gets fucking fixed every time.
Well, yeah, but old matey died when he got shot, didn't he?
Pardon?
Old matey, the bad guy, died when he got shot tons of times.
No, he didn't die. He was just on his knees saying traitor, and then they arrested him.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting.
So what's the point in?
Well, that's it.
Why wouldn't you just shoot in that situation? Why wouldn't you just charge at the man? If you can't die, you charge at the man. Worst case scenario, he takes the girl with him, but as you're falling, you can just grab the girl and you take the impact of the fall.
Yeah.
That's just a win-win-win because no one's dead.
Well, I guess it's maybe they feel pain and death.
Right, so we've already debunked David Cage's new game.
Yeah,
so right,
sorted. We've fucked it shit. Do you want me to read the notes that I wrote while this next game was being shown?
What is the next game?
You'll know as soon as I start saying it. This fucking horror game thing that I refused to look at.
Oh, yeah.
It was scary, because I refused, I don't even know. I just refused to watch it. Literally, I was writing bullshit so my eyes aren't tempted to watch. Cannot fucking deal with this. End me, please. It was Resident Evil 7. Or Resident Evil Biohazard, whatever they're going to call it. Resident Evil with just 7 hidden in the name, but not actually Resident Evil 7.
And then in Japan it's Biohazard Resident Evil.
Yeah. It's in PSVR, which fuck my life if I have to play it at some point this week.
I really hope you do. I might send an email to make sure that happens.
Please don't.
I'm actually really quite looking forward to this because Resident Evil's been a weird one for me because I never really played the early ones. Everyone's they're kind of quite important games in history. Like, I never really played them. I tried playing Resi 1 before they did the remasters. Like, I got a PS1 and tried playing it, and it's like, just this day and age, it doesn't feel good. Like, tank controls can fuck off.
Yeah. There you go.
And so the first one that really clicked with me was Resi 5, which is generally considered to be not great.
Yeah, that's what I was
but I really liked it. And then I went back and played a bit of Resi 4 and was like, yeah, this is better, but I just didn't finish it.
Okay.
And then never played 6.
So you're like an affinity with it by not playing it, but like
Yeah.
teasing yourself with it?
And then I think I'm quite looking forward to the fact that this is going back to the sort of more horror roots, because there was
the
like,
repeaty vibe.
Resi 5 was not scary, but there were moments where it was like, oh fuck, this is like...
See, that's what I can't deal with. It's not like there was something scary coming in that demo, it was the fucking tension. I cannot deal with like tension. It's like turns my guts inside out.
So yeah, I'm fine with tension like that. The one thing that I think just gets everyone is like cheap jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you realise you're in a horror setting, you can kind of prepare yourself. We didn't see that much of it.
I can't tell if what the beginning was with the walking about the house. They did link it to kitchen, didn't they?
They said before there was kitchen.
Yeah, there was
this
one.
But I don't even know what kitchen. I've never played
Kitchen's
kitchen.
the horror VR.
Oh yeah, I know what it is, but I don't know what the content of it is. I've never played it, so I couldn't comment.
It's a weird link, I think, but it's interesting. It's obviously going to be a first-person thing, but then how it's a VR thing. So I'm intrigued to see how Resi combat and manoeuvring through places works in this.
It'll be like every other shooter in VR.
Which is
you have a controller.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Or you use the move controllers.
But we was talking after, and this is one of your favourite things from the Sony conference.
What, Resi still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it, to be fair. Like, I think they did quite a good job at selling PlayStation with VR without spending too long on it.
Yeah.
They went, here's Resident Evil 7, this is like our big... This is going to be the actual game that you want to play.
Yeah. Well, that's a fucking massive one. Like, I imagine it's going to come... They didn't say exclusive, did they? So it's going to come to the others.
Yeah.
But aligning yourself with one thing and it's giving a good brand message, isn't it? And I feel like they're going to blow everything outside the water with their VR because it's just cheaper. You don't have to...
I feel like you're wrong.
Why?
Because it won't be as high quality. I think, like, from a reviews point of view, I wouldn't be surprised if PSVR gets mullered. Because people now have expectations of VR. Oculus and HTC are very, very close tech spec wise. The sort of biggest difference is the moving around physically in the Vive. I've heard a lot of people say that unless there's an Oculus exclusive that you really want, there is no reason to buy an Oculus unless you have the brand affiliation. Because the Vive does everything it does and does more. So we now have expectations for VR, and I don't think PSVR can hit it with its visual fidelity and technological specs.
But the average guy on the street doesn't know how to fucking set up this type of shit and won't have PCs that can run it. So if they can at least get it so you don't fucking throw up.
But I don't think average guy on the street is going to buy VR yet.
Well, there is that, but you're right. It's give and take and it's all speculation, but they're certainly committing themselves to it. They're fucking going for it. They then announced or whatever a lot of games come into their VR, either exclusive or not. Farpoint, which I can't remember who was making that. I take it you don't.
Don't know. That's the Mars shooter.
Yeah,
thing,
it's like a hidden, a new planet that no one's been to. There's big fucking spider. A new planet that's completely different, but still has big fucking spiders on it.
Was it not Mars? It looked like Mars.
No, it definitely said this is a new planet. Where the fuck are we? New. It said, I think it said, terrain unknown, atmosphere unknown. And then I'd imagine it's going to say life unknown or something, and they'd be like, oh! But no, there's some weird flying robot scanning things. And then there was a village on fire, and there was a big spider. It looks cool, and it seems like a grand thing for...
Looked a bit generic.
I don't know. Space exploration. Is there anything like that? You go to a completely new planet and you get bad.
No Man's Sky.
You're not going to get bad in that way.
Yeah.
And they actually didn't show No Man's Sky. I told you they wouldn't.
Yeah.
There you go, calling at me. Then they had X-Wing VR mission, which...
That's utter bollocks.
Wasn't with EA when they did their Star Wars fucking montage.
That would have save the EA conference.
Probably, you know.
Like one mission, don't care. Next.
Again, isn't it just one? It's going to be a DLC or like 15 quid. And you get to play.
No, it'll be less than a fiver.
Think?
Yeah. It might even be free.
Maybe. Then there's Batman Arkham VR, which is interesting. And Rocksteady doing it, which you imagine it's probably the B team while the A team are making whatever they're making. But it's cool that they're committing to it as well. It seems like the big people are kind of aligning themselves with it now to do stuff. And Matt Hamill was definitely doing the voice acting.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what this actually is from a gameplay perspective, because there's only certain things you can do in VR.
Like, there's no chance you can do fighting like Batman.
Yeah, you can't do Arkham style combat where you couldn't do it from a first person perspective. You could do it. You could do it like top downy type thing,
maybe,
but then you kind of lose the point of VR. I wouldn't be surprised if this is either a walking sim or a like point and click 3D puzzle type thing. I don't see this being a full price AAA release. This would be a cool little side thing, which most VR think.
I reckon it'd be like really impressive technical wise. It'd be like an hour long. So what I think it'll be is that you're tied up as Batman. Joker's got you, so there'll be a scene of Joker over you doing all his spiel. Then he'll skip off, and then you have to escape his room of fucking torture or something. I think that could be quite fun, really.
Yeah, the opening scene in... Is it Asylum? Where Joker is on like the... strapped to like a stretcher type thing. It's been wheeled in, and you're just walking alongside him as there's like a 10-minute conversation. Yeah, could be something like that.
Maybe. It's certainly interesting. I think it's a Rocksteady, isn't it? So it's going to have
again. It's very much a. When you see it happening, you're like, oh shit, Rocksteady are doing VR and it's Batman. This is going to be amazing. And then when you step back and go, actually, we didn't see anything of note.
Exactly. Yeah. And then finally, there was Final Fantasy VR, which had a fucking Jesus Christ, the amount of nerds wanking to this tonight. Like that shot of the lady.
Oh yeah, I thought it got a very limited reception at this conference.
True.
I think it was the least cheered thing.
Well, this was intersected with the Afrojack trailer, which kind of offbeat with everything else, but then good for Final Fantasy because it was actually upbeat and whatnot.
Don't know what Final Fantasy is, so.
No, right, but yeah, the Final Fantasy VR thing actually did look pretty cool, like an arena type shooting thing.
That would be super limited.
Probably, but you know, well, VR. Is there any?
I think this
is there a VR game at the minute that isn't limited? Maybe E-Valkyrie, I guess.
E-Valkyrie is pretty much a game. It depends what VR we're talking about. Like Elite Dangerous is entirely playable in VR.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, just games for VR.
What VR exclusives?
Yeah.
I mean, there's Drift, but that was all a bit shit. I don't know because I haven't looked into it that much. But I think Sony did a very good job at showing VR things that got people very excited.
It's like brand,
but aren't actually things that they will want to play or will be worth playing.
Star Wars, Batman, and Final Fantasy, which is like three fucking massive brand, and Resident Evil.
But none of them are going to be shit that you want to play apart from Resident Evil.
Yeah. That's the big one, isn't it? Call of Duty in space looks fun. You know, any comment?
I actually twigged literally within probably about because it started off with old mate walking down a corridor.
Yeah.
And it was as soon as they said the name, was it like Reyes or
Reyes?
Yeah, Reyes.
Yeah,
it was at that point where it twigged. This is Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Call of Duty has got to a stage where even if you don't know it's Call of Duty, even if like there is no indication, no shooting whatsoever, you can usually just tell.
I agree.
I mean, I'll be interested to see how this works from a multiplayer perspective, although we don't get to see that till COD XP like later in the year.
Okay. I hope they do space stuff in the online. I don't know.
See, I hope that they don't.
Well, yeah, but
because that would like fuck over esports. Well, it wouldn't fuck over esports. They just wouldn't use it. I don't think. I think that has to stay single player only.
It probably will. That's what happens with all the gimmicks, really.
I've had a few people say that like Call of Duty could be in for a bit of a worrying year because it's back to Infinity Ward. Mm-hmm. Infinity Ward's last one was shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was the worst Call of Duty.
Yeah, definitely
ever. And like Black Ops 3 has done well, but Call of Duty is starting to lose a bit of momentum. So I think people are quite worried about this, especially with it being like a new IP within the Call of Duty franchise.
But it's something completely different. I'm surprised. I really thought they would have gone back to like World War II this time, but they've obviously not.
I don't think Infinity Ward would ever go to World War II because they were the ones who did Modern Warfare and sort of always kept it forward. And then Treyarch was kind of more of the historical ones till they went with the clear marketing decision of we can never go back, we're always going forward, which is kind of not ruined Call of Duty because Black Ops 3 is very good and Advanced Warfare was one of the best. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how this Call of Duty actually plays.
All the shooting, the spaceship stuff looked really cool, to be fair. Obviously, it's going to be on rails, uniform, but still, it looked. That's why I knew it was Call of Duty, but at one point I was thinking, is it going to be a bit of VR stuff in here? Since it was after all the VR line, but obviously, the shooting's never going to be in that.
I mean, the only thing that anyone cares about this year is the remaster,
and it looks rather pretty, doesn't it? Like the ghillie suit, I loved how the ghillie suit was the first thing they showed because that's like the most, by far the most iconic thing from that game.
I mean, I want to see multiplayer of that as well.
10 maps. How many was there originally?
I can't remember, but there was a map pack of 4 maps, and so it kind of depends if they're counted as original maps or not.
Was there a map on the ship on the first Modern Warfare?
Yes, it was.
I like that map. Shipment.
No, Shipment was the really tiny square one with the shipping containers in the middle.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one.
Like night and rainy.
Yeah, and it was really difficult to see if you weren't playing in HD.
I remember liking that map actually.
Yeah, the best map was Crash, which is the one with a helicopter that's crashed in the middle of like a
city.
Well, kind of a city. Yeah.
I think I know. Is it like a bit of like a loading dock type area? I think I correct you actually.
Like there's like a 3-story building with a roof area, and then there's in the courtyard in front of that is the crashed helicopter.
See, my only problem is that Call of Duty and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 kind of blend into one for me. Because I think I played them.
It's because you're a nerd.
Well, I think it's because I played Modern Warfare 2 as my first Call of Duty, fucking loved it, and so I borrowed Call of Duty Modern Warfare at the same time and played through it.
2 was your first Call of Duty?
Yeah. Oh no, World of War, sorry. And I fucking loved World of War.
It's the best Call of Duty.
It's so good in it. Like people do it. The PSHE was class on that. But yeah, it looks really fucking good, and I imagine it's going to be very interesting to see the player numbers when they're both released.
Yeah, because not player numbers, sales numbers, because the only way to get Call of Duty 4 is to buy the expensive edition of the new Call of Duty.
Yeah, but I'd be interested to see how many people are playing online on Call of Duty 4 compared to the new one.
I don't think it'll outdo it at all because of the way it's being sold.
Maybe.
I think that's quite a smart move on their part because they know if they release Call of Duty 4, even a remaster at £60 the same day as the new Call of Duty, Call of Duty 4 is going to outsell it. So I think after Christmas you will be able to buy it on its own, but that sort of secures that their new Call of Duty will be Christmas #1 and will not be outdone by the remaster.
Do you not think people who've bought it, will people just buy it for Modern Warfare 4 and then literally just fucking throw?
I think it's a very big investment to do that.
Sure, it's like £70 for both. Maybe interesting. Then Crash Bandicoot kind of returned in probably the one moment in the whole conference where they kind of got that you could just hear 1,000 hearts breaking because the Crash Bandicoot came out. They had a backdrop which was obviously Crash Bandicoot, but they didn't say anything. And then the lad came out, and then they had the Crash Bandicoot sign lowering, and then you couldn't even hear him announce the remasters really over. Everyone's screaming, and then what I said, no new Crash Bandicoot, just remasters, which you kind of hope is leading to a Ratchet and Clank type style thing, because if they're not coming out until 2017, you'd hope they're doing a lot of work with them, so hopefully they're going to do what they did with Ratchet type thing. But then they went, but he's coming out soon in Skylanders, and you could just hear
no one cares.
Yeah, pretty much. But people did. Oh, Lego Star Wars got a teaser. Yes, alright.
That's like in 2 weeks, so it shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, there you go. And then, what's the lad's name? Andrew House?
Yeah.
Came out to introduce his good pal, Hideo Kojima, who had a fucking boss entrance.
That was House's only role, wasn't it?
It was literally just to introduce
Huh,
yeah.
I just
They had 2 guys on, like I said, they didn't have Adam Boyce or Shuhei on, which is good in a way because they just fucking play trailer after trailer, but it'd have been nice to see him a bit of interactivity, but who cares? Yeah, I said it was a fucking ace entrance. He played the trailer for it, and it's literally just a fucking music video for whatever song it was.
It's a fucking music video and a advertisement for sushi.
Yeah. Death Stranding, which is a bit of a shit name.
That won't be the final name.
Mm-hmm.
That's a code name.
Was announced. Norman Reedus is in it. He's a pregnant man with a baby that can disappear, and there's ink hands, squid ink maybe with all the dead fish and crabs and stuff. It looks the trailer was very cool.
It literally looks like nothing. There is nothing you can draw from this.
There's nothing.
You can say there is a man who is somewhat famous in a game, and Hideo Kojima really likes sushi.
And Del Toro is not in it at all, which, like I said, he must be a curse for games now.
I mean, that's not even something you can draw because he was never talked about for it. Like, he's never been involved with it, as far as anyone knows. So,
yeah, so it was exciting to see him. He seems like a lot happier and more free these days.
Hopefully. Yeah, but it's very easy to fake a smile for 5 minutes.
I don't know. I sometimes you can tell.
If you're giving me an unlimited budget to make whatever the fuck I want,
are you telling me though he doesn't look happier than he did when he was working for Konami? Obviously under quite bad,
I'm saying
situation.
that I'm not going to comment on rumour and speculation.
You're so boring. Then, potentially, I think maybe the loudest screams for Spider-Man by Insomniac, which is fucking massive.
I feel like it's weird.
It's a big studio for having something like that.
Yeah, well, no, because Insomniac have multiple teams.
It's still a big name. Who was the shithouse that did the last Spider-Man, which was wank? I can't even remember, but it was like wank. Everyone says like Amazing Spider-Man.
There was. Oh yeah, wasn't that what Nails reviewed?
He fucking smashed it.
There was a point in time around, I want to say like 2010, 11, where there was some good Spider-Man games.
Yeah, Spider-Man games were really good. Like Spider-Man 2 for the...
that was like way before. And they weren't.
I was saying, Spider-Man games have even been good back in the day.
But there was a point where, like, Xbox 360 era, quite late on, they were getting good again. And then, I think... I don't know what I think about this, because Spider-Man is obviously a big name. Spider-Man is a big name to, as much as I hate to say it, kind of the nerd culture. But now, if you went up to like Joe Blogs on the street, they would probably know Iron Man better than they know Spider-Man. So
interesting. I disagree. I think everyone knows.
They would know him. But I would say that Joe Blogs on the Street knows the Iron Man story better than Spider-Man.
What's Iron Man's story?
I'm not saying the story. I'm saying the characters behind it. If you went up to
someone
and said,
so the actor then?
No,
stuff.
I'm saying like the alter ego.
Stark.
Like if you went up and said who is Iron Man, and everyone would know that it's Tony Stark. If you went up and said who is Spider-Man, I'm saying like probably half the people would go, I don't have a clue.
I think I disagree massively. Peter Parker and Spider-Man's been ingrained in this fucking society since whenever it was first formed. There's been 2 different movie lines, franchise, whatever, and he's just come into
shit.
And he's just come into the massive. The first Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire were the only superhero movies that were actually good, apart from maybe the fucking Mad Batman one.
They're alright, but
the first 2 were very good for the time. I feel like Spider-Man's probably the most... I think he's the most... apart from literally Superman and Batman, he's the most iconic Marvel hero. Easily.
I disagree now. I think
intriguing.
Like 10 years ago, yeah, but now, no.
It's like everyone knows the story of Spider-Man. Like, with Sony Stark, not many people know that he was a pisshead who nearly tried killing himself and all that type of stuff.
But like the Marvel films are now like the highest grossing film series in eternity.
it's very exciting because Spider-Man games are just one of the most chill games. Just like you can just have fun, just zipping about the sea.
My worry is Insomniac are not a flawless developer. They've had some stinkers, so
I imagine they wouldn't want to fuck this one, man.
Right, but no one wants to fuck Spider-Man, and they have before.
True, but they've been developers who've had no name. That's it. Like this could fuck.
True,
Insomniac.
but I think Insomniac is not as surefire bet as people seem to think it is.
No, but I think they're one who understand. Like, even if you didn't like Sunset Overdrive, you could kind of like the movement and the stuff. Like, I think they understand first fun and that type of banter, dickhead banter.
It would probably actually be that team, wouldn't it? The Sunset team.
You'd probably guess. And as long as they don't make every quest just a fucking shite fetch quest, I think it could be good. I don't even need a story. That's the type of game I don't need a story for. Just need satisfying swinging and fighting, and I'm golden. But yeah, and then the last thing they ended on was the gameplay for Days Gone, which what do you think of that as a name? I'm not
shit.
Yeah, oh god, you say so? Because I agree. Your biker dude goes into some type of wood chipper plant, tries to find some pal who isn't really a pal. He tries killing him, he breaks his leg, and then bear fucking zombies come out, have a big chase, and he ends
That's
up...
not like animal bear zombies.
No, yeah.
Like, that's multiple
People who listen to this
zombies.
podcast know I say bear as in the quantity. And then he ends up stranded on a silo with the horde closing in, and there was a fucking lot of zombies on the screen.
It looks
very
super
impressive.
fucking generic, but
Yeah.
redeeming feature was the technological side of things. The amount of there were clearly individually animated zombies, like not just a crowd. They were individually animated and all had physics applied to them. The way that they all I can't figure out how they did the pathing because.
Tell you what I reckon, because I was trying to watch specific zombies to see how they moved, and I'm sure. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not knowing any technical knowledge at all, but it looked to me as if they had loads on, and it seemed like zombies would go into each other. So let's say one zombie is actually physical in the world. It's just I don't know, something that you can't really interact with, but then he morphs into a physical one. I don't know how that works. I have no idea in size, but that's why I imagined to have some that look physical and you can kill, and then to have the others around it which make it look fucking quite intense. You get me? I don't know if that's the thing that could work at all. But that's how
I do think they are all actual individual entities in the game world. The thing that confused me slightly was the pathing of the zombies.
Okay.
Because
one's smashed through the wall.
It did very much. The route that he took,
it's deliberate.
Seemed very much to channel them into certain small areas, which the part where it fell apart for me slightly was when he gets onto the roof with all the zombies chasing him, and there's a 5-second point where he turns around and the zombies just make it onto the roof, and instead of spreading out, if you're a zombie, your goal is to get to the man and eat him. And even though zombies aren't particularly smart, you're going to realise if there's a person in front of you, then the ideal thing is not to stand behind them. You're going to try and spread out. And the zombies stayed in probably a 3x3 line. So all the other times where they were channelled into small areas, that looks fine because that's as far as they can go. When they're out on this big open roof, it looked kind of weird that they didn't spread out a bit more. They were very focused. So technically, yeah, and the way they sort of fell over each other,
it looked really cool.
That did look good. I think I'm still.
It's annoying. That's
looking at it a bit more in depth and thinking about it. I think we could be getting slightly overhyped about the technological side of things. When
it's going to be some magic tricks of some way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be all it seems. And like I said, that felt like a sequence that might be scripted because there's bits where they smash through a wall, where you're running. And it'd be I imagine it'd be quite hard to do for that to just happen real time. But it certainly looks cool, I think. And people were surprised. You could tell they were surprised. It was just how you didn't stop. It was like a fucking river, and it was interesting. I found. How do you reckon of it ending on that? Like I say, you thought it was smart. How they did
how they did it was smart. I do think that they should have ended. I think they should have done it the other way around. They should have done. They should have done the gameplay as they announced it, and then they should have gone and then at the end they should have gone Spider-Man into Kojima. I think ending on Kojima, because I don't think
it's exclusive.
I think realistically, I don't think many people expected him to actually show anything. Like, I think he might.
It's also years away.
I heard a few people like expect, we might get a cameo and like
I did
a Kojima production studio tour, dev diary. But I didn't think we'd actually see anything that could be related to the final games. It's just so early on.
But he likes his cinema, doesn't he?
He does, but so I think ending on that, like the ovation that he got was probably the last cheer of the Sony conference.
Oh man, people were on their feet, fucking giving him praise, and
so yeah, I think that was what they should have ended on. But hey, I mean, you've got to look at press conferences, and Sony's probably the least guilty of this, but they're not just for journalists to look at and not just for fans to watch, they're also for your shareholders and shit like that. And I think if from that point of view, if you end on something that you can't say what it is, you don't, like Sony don't know at this point what it specifically properly is.
These like want to fuck off.
Isn't going to be out for years. Like from securing investor, like securing board member, like appreciation. I think that would ending on something that's going to be out within the next 12 months. I think. I don't think
there's a release date, Sean.
But yeah, like I think that's a much safer bet.
Yeah.
It's just a bit boring.
But it was a very good show overall. The attitude was very, very positive. Everyone said that's all you need to do. Like, have the odd talk about anything and show loads of stuff. It was fun. How it was set up in the theatre with like cool, you didn't notice this. I don't know how. They had like cool backdrops behind these.
I noticed it. I just didn't look at it much.
Like there was a bit on the God of War.
God of War had trees. I saw that.
The floor was, like I said, the floor was wet, kind of, and it looked really cool. But yeah, it was a good show. So Resi, your particular highlight, I guess. What's your highlight of the conferences?
All of them.
Yeah. And worst game, should we say? Worst favourite and not least favourite announcement. New announcement.
Well, least favourite is by far that fucking Final Fantasy demo at Microsoft. That was god awful.
It was not fun.
I don't know. Best. I mean, I said the two sort of goosebump moments that I kind of had were at Bethesda when the Skyrim music hit, and at Sony when the Call of Duty 4, like the little green line thing hit. But again, they're kind of weird because they're like both games that I absolutely love that are just being re-released, so that doesn't really count, I guess. Those were by far my favourite moments. I think in the moment, like Spider-Man, I got quite excited about when I saw the developer.
Cool. I think that was the one thing you had like a reaction to. You went whoa, or whatever, or maybe Resi you had a reaction to. I can't remember. Yeah,
I think Resi and that were probably sort of the big new things. I feel like Bethesda, Quake, like I was quite excited about that, but then like when it first came on, like the command prompt when it said Quake, I was like, right, banging, and then
the revisionist in you,
and then they just sort of went, oh, here's a CGI trailer, and I was like, okay,
yeah, which is weird because Bethesda didn't really do that last year's E3. But yeah, I think for me, on a personal level, Gwent being released, just knowing that there's more Witcher stuff to get into is fun for me. I like most Sony stuff. The Crash returning even in a cock-teasing way was great. I think.
You think that's great? See, I think that's really shitty.
It's a bit like Microsoft doing the Conquer thing with fucking thing, but
oh no, it's not as bad as that.
It's not as bad,
but I think
it feels like such a cock tease. But it's just cool to know they acknowledged it.
The way they should have done it is, I can't remember at what point it was, but there was one point where I'm sure Sony did it, Microsoft did it quite a bit, where they came on stage, went, here's the thing, trailer, and as soon as the trailer ended, it went into another trailer for a different thing. Yeah. They should have done, like, having the Crash set, having it walk out on stage, having the thing drop.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done that. What they should have done is like say fucking Resi or Call of Duty finishes. Bad example because there's 2 trailers for that, but Call of Duty finishes, and then on the screen, Crash Bandicoot logo, remasters underneath it, and then like they didn't show gameplay of it, did they?
Yeah, showed Skylanders stuff.
Yeah, and so they're probably because there isn't gameplay, but like some CGI box trailer of
what's going to look like artist impression with it?
No, just like Crash Bandicoot fucking playing a PS1 and then it like is panning out, so like through a TV screen.
Okay.
So Crash Bandicoot is then playing Crash Bandicoot playing on a PS, like he's playing on a PS4, watching himself play. Yeah, that should have been how they did it.
It feels like the one thing they kind of botched a little bit. I think they did it that way to not get people's hopes up for a new one.
Yeah. I mean, what we can clearly conclude from that is that Sony need to hire me for their marketing department.
Well, what can we say? Yeah, is it? I think the first 3 shot, none of them have been duds, the ones we went to, and I think that's a great...
Yeah, I think we got quite lucky with the ones that we had doing, the ones we didn't.
Unless there's anything else you want to add on this quite extensive chat on E3 conferences, Mr. Stubbs?
No, just that we'll be hitting show floor from tomorrow, and so we'll probably sound even more tired than we are now, because we'll actually be on our feet all day.
We're doing podcast today.
Yeah.
And videos of the previews we do and as much writing as we can muster. Am I right in that?
Yeah, we'll kind of play it by ear. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, but we'll see what we see and then decide what we're going to do after that.
Yeah, so thank you for listening, everyone. I've been Dan, this has been Mike. We're very tired from LA. As I said, as Stubbs said, keep your eyes out on all the content feeds and whatnot, because stuff will be coming your way very soon. You can follow Mike on Twitter at Mike Stubbsy. You can follow me
and on
Twitter.
Instagram at Mike Stubbsy.
He's got Instagram now. He's not very good with his filters, I saw today.
Right, I don't get filters. Like,
don't mean to like give a tutorial.
If I take,
that could be a video on that.
If I take a picture, like, I'm not a professional photographer. Yeah. I'm taking a picture of what I'm taking a picture of. Like,
you couldn't even get the blink on the right way around. I feel like you need Instagram.
See, when has taking a picture in portrait ever been acceptable?
It's square.
Yeah, but that's just ridiculous.
No, I would agree with you, but it's square, so it doesn't matter what you do it. That's why I did it square, so you can just do it forwards. And
it's just ridiculous. Like, holding your phone in portrait is just wrong.
I do agree, but what are you going to do? Well, that could be a cool video, like crash course on Instagram.
But I know, I've got all the likes on Instagram today.
Have you?
Like, let me have a look. I've had loads. Because I kind of went on, I kind of stealth started using Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then I just went on a mass following spree the other day. So, on 3 pictures, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6? I think that's 6. 6 likes and 2 new followers.
Big time.
Yeah.
So, follow him on that. You can follow me on that as well, at Magroski.
No, I don't do that. He's boring as fuck.
Piss off! You can follow Twitter, GodisaGeek, at GodisaGeek. I'm fucking tired now. Facebook.com/GodisaGeek for stuff. GodisaGeek.com for all our E3 writing and stuff. YouTube.com/GodisaGeek for our video previews. We're going to be coming your way, or preview impressions, whatever, coming your way in the next few days. And of course, Patreon.com/GodisaGeek if you'd like to throw some money our way for fucking Ubers, because like LA is a fucking extensive city that takes ages to get to the places. Cheers. If there's nothing else to say, this is going to be fun. Say goodbye, Michael.
Goodbye, Michael.
It's goodbye from me. C'est la vie.